First, we'll begin with the slip knot on our hook and chain 19. Working into the back, we're going to work into the third chain from our hook. Slip stitch into the third chain. This makes our first picot stitch. Single crochet into the next chain. Now we will chain 3. And slip stitch back into the first chain we made. This makes our next picot stitch. Now we will single crochet into each of the next 2 chains from our foundation chain. Chain 3 and slip stitch back to the first chain we made for another picot. Now we will single crochet in the next 2 chains of our foundation chain. Now we will repeat chain 3, slip stitch back to the first chain you made, single crochet in each of the next 2 foundation chains. And continue to repeat that until there's only 1 chain left in the row. When we only have 1 chain left at the end of our row, then we'll do 1 more picot. Chain 3, slip stitch back to the first, and then single crochet in the last foundation chain. That completes our row 1, and we're ready to turn for row 2. Now we'll pick up our row 1 and turn to continue working around this edge and along the back bottom. Our first picot, chain 3, slip stitch back into the first chain. Now we're going to work our single crochets into the bottom of the foundation row. First single crochet, should be exactly opposite of the last single crochet we made on row 1. And continue to single crochet across the entire row. We'll finish with 16 single crochets. To begin row 3, turn your work. Start with your picot, chain 3, slip stitch back to that first chain. Now single crochet into the very first single crochet and in each stitch across. For row 4 and on, we'll continue the same pattern repeat. You'll always end with a single crochet. You'll turn your work and begin with a picot for each row. Chain 3, slip stitch back to the first chain, single crochet in the very first single crochet, and in each one across. Repeat that through row 15. Once you've completed row 15, we're ready to turn our work and begin our last row, 16, with the picot, chain 3, slip stitch back to the first chain made, then we'll single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and continue to repeat that across. Chain 3, slip stitch back to the first, single crochet in the next 2. You will single crochet in the last 2 stitches. Now all that's left is to cut your yarn and weave in your ends.